So I have been trying to get my spine ready. So I cut out a bit of chipboard. It's just this scrappy chipboard that I got a whole heap when I went to pick up some papers from a lady off of Marketplace. She asked if I wanted a whole pile of this stuff and some white card stock, like big 12 by 12s, and I was like, yes, thank you, that'll be awesome. So I have a whole heap of that now, which is great. So what I did was cut a piece of that out. I measured the brown bit here down to basically where this is a second-hand book cover, and it's sort of curled over a bit from use. So I measured basically from where the purple page ends on both ends. That's the height. So measure that, get the height, and then width-wise I measured the brown stuff that's already in there and basically did it that size, which was about 3 centimetres and 2 millimetres, about that. So now this book cover is way longer in height than my signature, which you can see here, like a whole inch or something. And a lot of the time I cut the book covers down so that it fits real nicely. But I decided this time I wasn't going to do that. I was going to leave it long and just see what I could do with it, because I'd already stuck this piece on, and then I thought, oh no, I meant to cut it down. And then I thought, if you cut it down, you really want to cover it in fabric or use washi or paper or something over the raw edges. And I couldn't be bothered because I'm lazy like that, as you know. So I thought I'd do it that way. So I measured my piece to reinforce the spine, cut that out on my mat with my box knife, and then I cut a piece of calico out that was just a bit longer, because I don't mind if it sticks up just a little bit with the frayed edges. And I've got a good inch or so either side too, because that will help anchor this reinforcement into the book. And I want to stick this down before I stick down my end pages. I think that'll be quite neat then. So because the spine is longer, I still want to reinforce the majority of the spine, but of course I won't be sewing my signatures into the whole spine area. So what I did was get one of my signatures and put that up against this side, and this is the side that I do my markings on. And I just drew a line across the top there so I know how high I want my stitching to go. And I want to do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. So I grabbed my ruler. I knew that this was, I did centimetres because sometimes I find them easier than inches depending on how things measure. That's about 3 centimetres. So I ended up going about 8 millimetres in from either side and drawing lines down. And that gives because we've got 2 signatures, one will be there and the other one will be on this line, it gives room for the pages on this side and the pages on that side of the other signature to expand a bit out both ways. And also, because we've got pockets in the cover, when we shut this, there's a bit of room there, allowing a bit of bulk in the cover as well. So that's what I try to cater for when I'm doing that. I do find it easier if you're doing 3 signatures, because you just do one in the middle and then one halfway of either side of the middle and the edge. So once I did that, because I'm doing the 5-hole pamphlet stitch, I've got my 2 lines where I'm going to be sewing my signature into. I go up there and I put a dot halfway. And then I usually go in 2 to 3 centimetres from the top or bottom. So here I went 2.5 from the top and the bottom and put dots there. And then basically measure halfway between that dot and the middle and that dot and put a dot. And that gives you your 5 holes there. And you do the same on the other side. So hopefully they're nice and even. So of course we have to punch holes now in this, but also what I want to do is we need a piece of paper as a guide to show us where to punch our holes in our signatures so they match the holes we're going to punch in this. So I have a piece of paper here that's almost the right length. Yeah, it's just 1 millimetre off top and bottom, so we'll just make sure we sort of centre that. What I like to do is fold this in half. Roughly, doesn't really matter if it's not perfect, which it's not going to be. Don't think my cutting was perfect though. Like that. Grab my pencil and I put this up against one of the lines with the dots. Make sure I've got it centered. That looks pretty good. And then I draw another dot where each of these dots are on the spine board. So I don't know if you can see, we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots there. And then I fold my paper back the other way. And that creates a guide for us to poke holes into our signatures so that it will hopefully match the holes that we have in the spine. So the next thing we've got to do is punch some holes. All right, change of plans. That will save us having, because I was like debating if I was going to sew through over the top of the doily or not. But I think we'll keep it neat. And I will sew the signatures into this and then I will stick it in to our cover. Right, I think I know what I'm doing now. So I'll grab, I've got a pokey tool. I have an awl, but it's quite thick. I'm not sure if I want to use my finer pokey tool that I have around here somewhere. I think this one might be a bit better and not do such big holes in everything. Although it probably doesn't matter. All right, let's get poking some holes here. I'll just put my mat underneath in case I go all the way through. I love this cardboard. It comes from some packaging for something, and it's really handy for doing this. I think this is a quilling tool. Be careful not to break it because it's not the toughest. Alright, so that's 10 holes done. And you can tend to see, because it sort of puckers the calico there. I'll just help it out a bit so I can see where to sew my signatures. Just thinking too, I do want to put a eyelet through afterwards. I just want to check that because this thing's pretty big. I should be able to. I haven't done this before, making journals all this time, but I never put dangles on because I find them a bit annoying. But what we're going to be doing is sticking that in there, and then I'll have to. Yeah, see, that's another reason why it's good that I've got a bit of leeway up the top there. It'll make it a lot easier. So we're going to make sure that we sew our signatures in without having this upside down. It's easy to see where the top is there. Now, I usually put T for top on this as well. So I might do that. Let's just bend it back this way and make sure that we've got them pretty well spot on. Yeah. That looks good, so I'll do T for top up here. Just sometimes, even if they look spot on, they're not, so it's good to make sure you do them. Know which is the top of that and the top of this, so they are even. Okay, now I will get my... I suppose it doesn't matter. I was trying to figure out what coloured thread to use, but now we're not going to see it out the back. It doesn't matter quite as much, so I might stick to using this, and I reckon that'll be strong enough, just single thread as a darning thread or tatting or something. Usually I like to do 2, but having a 5-hole pamphlet stitch is going to make it quite strong anyway. So just chop a bit of that off. Got my needles there. And we want our first signature, if I can find it. Might just take... I'm just taking that out, it's a bit bulky really. Just trying to remember that it goes on the orange page near the start. I haven't done this for a while. I feel like a newbie. Probably sounding like one too. So now this is where we want to check that all our pages are up the right way and all together nicely. Looks like it's all together. And then we put the T for top at the top, and we make sure it's sort of centered. Looks good. And then we clip it in. And just thinking I better use my awl for this, because I think all these pages will break my little pokey tool otherwise. Grab my cardboard again. So I'll start with the middle. There we go. Right, now this is where you remember to take the paper out. And I'll thread my needle. Hopefully it'll go through the holes all right. So I'll make sure that's the top. And that's the top. And do we want danglies? I don't think I do, so we'll go from the back of this. So I will start in the middle hole. It's only just, yeah, it's only just going to fit through those little holes that I made, but that's all right. Leave a nice long tail. Go through the middle of a signature. Are we in the middle? Yes, I like it when that happens. And getting stuck in my scissors. And then we'll go through the next hole up. I haven't done this for ages, so we'll see if I can get it right. then back through the next one up of here. Getting a cord on everything. I don't know how people do all this slow stitching. I can't even stitch something simple without wanting to rage quit. Although I am going to give the slow stitching a go sometime. I keep collecting fabrics and that to do some of it. I'm fascinated by the pictures and that you can do with fabric. Now we're going up through the top one. Beautiful. Now that's the simple stuff so far. It starts getting tricky when you've got to go back through where you've already got thread, because you've got to try not to catch it, the one that's already in there. So we're going to go back through this one. This thread's pretty good though, especially if you're just using a single thread. And then back through here. Find it good if you pull that thread taut that's already in there. It's a bit easier to miss it on your way back through then. All right, now once we get to this stage, we want to jump past the middle one and head through the next one down. This is if you want to finish your thread in the middle. You can do it like other ways if you want to finish down the bottom or up the top or whatever, but I usually do it in the middle. And then we go through the bottom one. This one's a little bit difficult. And then we go back up to this one. Just pull on that thread taut to make sure I'm not catching it. You can sort of feel it if you're catching it that way. And then we have to go through here again. Might just hold this one down. Do a bit of a wriggle. There we go. And then this is where we go back through the middle for the last stitch. Dethreaded my needle, so I'll just put that back on. At least it's a big eye in this needle, so I don't need my glasses to try and find it. Right, so here we go back through this first one. Okay, now we're at the back. So we want one of the threads over this side of this thread, and then the other one I'm going to tuck under so it's lying over the other side. This is so when we tie a knot, the knot doesn't get pulled through the hole. So now I can take my needle off. Now we've got to tighten them up. So sometimes rather than pulling too hard, I like to just pull them this way. That's tightening that one so they're all tight like guitar strings. They're all getting quite taut. That one's a little loose for my liking though. Just checking there's no knots or anything. That's a bit better. All right. So now we can tie a knot in there. I think I've got enough cotton on there. But you'd rather too much than not enough. Especially, it's good to have a nice long tail so that you don't pull it through while you're doing it. And I keep all these bits because I might use them for some stitching in the future. And then I just put them down like that so they're nice and neat when we go to stick it down. So that's our first signature sewn in. So I'll just grab my cover. And that's going to sit quite nicely in there. So I'll take the clips off. So I'm going to go off video now and sew the second one in exactly the same. I'll be doing it down this side and then I will be back. Now it's time to stick my signatures into my journal. So this is the top. We'll make that the top. I'll just get my Helmer's glue. I want a fair bit of glue here. Definitely want this to not come out in a hurry. The signatures, that is, not the glue. The glue can come out in a hurry, that's fine, because we do need a lot. Now I usually go around the edges and then put a whole heap in the middle, and then I usually go around the edges quickly again because they dry so quick. Alright, now I like to hold these bits up so I can see my cardboard and make sure that I'm getting it sort of even with the brown stuff on the spine. Looks like I've done a pretty good job first pop, which is amazing. Alright, and then I like to make sure that I can shut it, which I can. And then we want to start putting a bit of pressure on this. So I like to grab a ruler and press down on both the sides. This ruler has a nice flat edge and it's quite heavy, so. And then we want to go between the signatures and do similar, just to get contact between the book spine and reinforcement board. Now we want that bit to stick down well too. Push that down. Make sure we haven't moved it. It's looking pretty good that side. Still looking pretty good that side. Just push it down again in the middle. Okay, so I want to keep it up like this, and I put my clips away, which probably wasn't a good idea, because what I might do also is just use one of my clips, although it might be a bit big. We want to keep it up like this so that the weight of the signatures presses down on the spine. I'm just going to clip the corner down on that top bit just to hold it down to make sure that that does glue together nicely. All right, now I'm going to leave this standing up like that, wedged between my tissue box and another box or something. And I'm going to leave it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes till it dries. Some people say overnight, but Helmer's doesn't take all night to dry, that's for sure. So, and then I can come back and stick down the edges of the fabric, and that'll help anchor the reinforcing board into the book. So I shall see you after. So I've let this dry for, I think it was about an hour. So now I've got my signatures in, which is wonderful. There's a fair bit of space up here, but once I hang this on, and I also might make some paper clips with some bits that go up as well. That'll look good. Now the next thing I wanted to do was stick these side bits down. I'll do that next. I might find something I can lean this up against. Get my tissue box. Get it on an angle, just to have that sitting up like that so it doesn't put too much stress on this when I'm trying to stick it down. So I want to get glue in the little valley here, the hinge bit where you close, and then I like to push the material down in there so that it still closes nicely, and then I stick this outside bit down. So we'll do that. Now I think I have some, I usually use a ruler just to press along in that valley bit. It's getting late. I must be getting tired because I'm stuffing up my words a bit. But I did a lot of gardening today, and I think all that sunshine and hard work, you know, tires you out. Get that sticking in there nicely. Then we can still shut it all right. Now I'll carefully stick down. Actually, it doesn't matter if I get a bit of a glue bomb out here. I usually do, but we're going to put our end papers on here afterwards, so that will be okay. Open it up a bit. Now it's difficult with this calico because the glue shows through it quite easy. So I tend to just press it down lightly to begin with. It's a bit tucked over there. I just want to try and unfold this a bit so it's not too bulky. It's quite creased. It doesn't matter too much. Could just leave it and stick it down. So that should be pretty good for that side, and then we've got to do the same on the other side. Might just find some, want some of my greaseproof paper if I can find any. Just going to put that there so that the bits of glue don't stick to my signature. That would be a disaster. Okay. Hopefully it is in there to stay. Now, might just keep that tissue box there for a bit. Thinking, well, I've got it open, maybe we should just stick our end pages down. And that will be a good effort for tonight. This one will need a bit of cutting first. I'm not sure if the sides are different at all. Grab my cutter. Let's take this rough edge off. One of my favourite things to use are these coloured end pages of books. They come in really handy. Oh, can I pick it up? Alright, now that fits pretty well spot on there. Must have come out of the same size book, which is good. So that's going to look nice like that, I think. And then if I don't like these harsh edges, I can always run a bit of lace down there or something, which I might, we'll see. So I might get that one down. Now the reason why I'm still leaving the book sort of upright like this is I'm still putting weight on it. Having the signatures upright like this, there's still weight on the spine so it can keep sticking well. If I lie the book down, it's going to put a little bit more pressure on the calico and everything. So I'm just letting it dry really well before I do that. That's my theory anyway. So I want to stick the edges of this down quite nicely. Which is hard because this glue bottle is not behaving itself. So it comes out when it wants to and doesn't come out enough at other times. A bit temperamental, like its owner. So busy day ahead tomorrow. Take my mum shopping. Well, I'm going to pick up some more doilies off of Marketplace for the second day in a row. Oh, but they keep putting the price down, the people that are selling them, and that, so it's like hard to resist. That's not straight. That's not too bad. And then I take my mum shopping. We're going to go to Bunnings too, so I might have to check out the plant section because I need to plant as I weed out in the backyard. Just making sure those edge parts are down really well. So that's looking better now, better than the purple, even though I like purple, and especially purple and green together. Purple's not going to go with our Tilda theme. So now we've got to put down this beautiful page. Again, I might just stick that behind it a bit like that. So I might just take the Susanna's card out first. Double check. Yeah, that looks good. Let's whack that one on. And then I think tomorrow night I have a meeting, so I might have to have a bit of a snooze in the middle of the day, I think. Must be getting old because I'm needing to have nana naps. And I'm not even a nana. Not fair. So I'm hoping I'll find this journal easier to finish now that I've got the signatures in. There's only so much I can sort of do when the signatures are out. I really can think of things better when it's together, which is frustrating because I see so many people finish it and then sew the signatures in, but you've got so much stuff to work around then, so... I sneakily showed a couple of friends a few pages of this last night, and I got, it's very pink. I'll take that as a compliment. It is very pink. This page anyway. Some of the pages are very, very pink, but oh well. Brighten up someone's life. I just didn't think vintage and that would, it would look all right, but because they're glossy and that, I just love the colour. So we'll do a quick flip now that I've got the signatures in. Oh, I could do my little, I've got an eyelet here. I was looking for a green one, but I don't have. Now, let me just see. We're going to have that about like that, aren't we? So there's plenty of room here. That actually goes all right with that. Now I have this dangle that I'm probably going to put on. I found it at the op shop all ready to go. Not sure how I'm going to attach it yet. I might actually put the eyelet in and then tie some fabric through it and then tie the dangle to the fabric as I tie the fabric through it, and that way it can be removed really easily. So I think that'll look cute too. So we'll try something like that. But for now, I just want to get the eyelet in while I'm remembering it before I lose it. There they are, 3/16. So I'll have to go that way, won't I? And hope that it's about in the middle. Not much of a measurer. I'm scared. Let me do a little pencil mark. Maybe around there. And I've got the right one. Right. Doesn't look too bad. I could have gone down a bit more, but no. Oh, that's not too bad, I don't think. It will do. And I've got the right setting there. Get the right way. I think that worked all right. It's in there. Yeah, that'll do. So what I am thinking with that is get some more of a lovely fabric that we've been using, because then it will match other stuff that we're doing. I just don't want to be too neat or anything. I'm not sure how this is going to work because I don't usually do this puffy stuff. So I might have to practice tying a bow and stuff. Hope Andrea likes pink and puffy. So I'm thinking of doing it something like this. And just tying it on like that. I think that'll work quite nicely. And then I can try and do a bow. A bit hesitant to put the book like this, considering I've just put the spine in there. Could even make this a bit longer. We will see. But you get the gist of it. I might have to make it longer. I thought that piece was way long. It's sort of an upside down bow. Someone needs to give me bow tying lessons, I tell you. Never happy with the ones I do. So I reckon tomorrow, I won't bother doing it right now because it is getting late. I will cut a longer piece of this, maybe thinner, and we'll do something like that. I'll have to put the front on and that tomorrow as well and just see whether I think this tassel will work because it is a bit of an odd colour. Or beaded tassel, whatever it is. I hate the things, they're so annoying. So there's plenty of room here to, yeah, I've still got a bit of embellishing to do and I don't like to overly fill because I do like the recipient to be able to add a fair bit of stuff. So we've got our little, where did I put it? There, we've got to put this back in. And that one over here. I think that's 2 pages, yep. Like that. So it's open like that. Got to put some more of the top tabs on the second signature as well. Still got to do a bit of stenciling and maybe stamping. It's just legs, legs and legs. I've still got a fair bit to do to embellish the rest, but at least we've done the scary bit of putting the signatures in. Don't know if I showed you that I put one of those one of the big stamp die cuts that I had in cream cardstock. I slipped that into the envelope. It fit perfectly, so we'll make a nice little journaling spot. These little pockets that I must do something with as well. So yeah, still a fair bit to do. Signatures seeming pretty good. And this little belly band that I did, that's holding that quite nicely. Awesome. All right, well that's great. I've made some good progress on that tonight, so I'm really happy with that. So I think tomorrow probably should leave the cover till the last thing, or else I might get glue on it because I'm so clumsy. So just got to keep chocking it up with some nice laces, some more tabs and paper clips, and then when that's all done we can put the front on. Then it'll be all ready to go off to its new owner, and that'll be great. This has been fun actually to make. So take care everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.